Happy New Year 2021. It better get cracking to be better. I'm glad you're back, and we are going to learn today about figurative language. Again, we talked about simile, comparisons that use like or as. She is like a cheetah. She runs so fast. Metaphor, comparisons that do not use like or as. He is a rock. He doesn't move at all. Hyperbole. These are extreme exaggerations that are usually funny. Like, I'd give $1,000,000 to have a slice of pizza right now. Well, number one, I don't have $1,000,000, and if I did, I certainly wouldn't give all of that for one teeny weeny little piece of pizza. Extreme exaggerations. You find these a lot in tall tales and things like that. Personification. We talked a lot about this kind of figurative language. The clue to what this means is in the word person. That is when an author gives something that's not alive or something that's not human characteristics. So in fairy tales, when the mice are talking to each other or the teapot dances around, those are examples of personification. Or if we talk about the wind whistling through the woods, that's personification because wind doesn't whistle. The last one that we're going to talk about today is this big, long, crazy word. You pronounce this word onomatopoeia. It's spelled crazy, and I had to look it up to make sure I spelled it correctly. Onomatopoeia is not as hard as it sounds, and it really means sound words. You all know what they are. You use them all the time. They're words like crash or boom or meow or splat, crunch. They're a word that represents the actual sound that you hear. So if the story says he was walking down the hallway and crack, hit his head on a door, that's the sound of what it would sound like. Now, on all of this figurative language, I've tried to show you the figurative language in a book. So I'm going to read to you today in a book that's got a lot of onomatopoeia in it. In our next video, I will review again, and I will read to you a different book on our last form of figurative language. So today, onomatopoeia, sound words. This book is called Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type. Obviously, gotta be fiction. And maybe you heard this when you were in some of the younger grades, because they do picture books all the time, which is super fun. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo. Now, the click and the clack is the sound of the typewriter. That's onomatopoeia. Moo, moo, is the actual sound the cow makes. So these are all onomatopoeia, sound words. At first, he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. A protest by the bovines. It was bad enough the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted an electric blanket? No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. They left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. No milk means no cheese. No milk in your coffee. No macaroni and cheese. No bread. No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. The next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. What do you think's going to happen now? The cows were growing, yeah, the cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed, no milk, no eggs. No eggs, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Cows that type, hens on strike, whoever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. Farmer Brown got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Duck was a neutral party. That means that he was not on anyone's side. So he brought the ultimatum to the cows. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. You think that's going to work? Farmer Brown decided this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come out with the typewriter. The next morning, he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clickety, clack, quack. Ooh, what did the ducks get? A diving board. I wonder why the ducks got a diving board. I mean, what do they have to offer the farmer? Onomatopoeia. Sound words like click, clack, moo, meow, neigh, crash, boom, pow. Onomatopoeia.